Hey cats, it's Ed, midsole bud here. Some surprising shoes on today's running shoe yay or nay. An Adidas Daily Cruiser with a shock horror P-back space midsole in the SUPERNOVA Rise. The Craft NORDLITE Speed better have some propulsion at a high price of $220. The SKECHERS Go Run Ride 11 is a shoe that keeps getting requested for review, and we have the forthcoming ENDORPHIN Pro 4 from SAUCONY. Let's dive into these new shoe selections. Welcome one and all. Running Shoe Yay or Nay is a series where I take a look at some forthcoming or soon to be released running shoes and let you know if I'm going to pick up a pair for review or not. It's not me saying that they're treasures or trash, simply whether I'm going to grab a pair to test out for you. Before we get to the first shoe, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you've not done so already, and also give this video a thumbs up like, that really helps out.
Dankeschön.
Okay, first shoe up today is a surprise one really, that's kind of come out of nowhere I suppose, from Adidas. The SUPERNOVA Rise is here, quite a perplexing model because of the foam included here in the midsole of the shoe. I never thought I'd see a day where an Adidas shoe has a P-back space midsole, but that's what we've got here in the SUPERNOVA Rise. It's called Dream Strike Plus. It's kind of odd, we've got Light Strike and the Pro version. This sounds like a special version of Dream Strike though. What happened to just standard Dream Strike? Who knows? Though we do have a layer of that repetitor foam underneath that. I gotta say that in the Clunk Master Adi Star from Adidas, that was not my favourite foam at all. Don't know what happened to that shoe, it's just sort of lost somewhere, and I don't really feel any need to find it and go out running in it once again. There are also other SUPERNOVA models with this type of foam to be released in the Solution and the Stride. The Solution seems to use the same set of rods underneath the shoe as we have in the Rise. Perhaps the Stride will be without any rods at all, though there's no info to confirm that at this present time. 277 grams or 9.7 ounces in the sample size, that's a US 9, and we have 36 millimeters of stack in the heel, so for me that's going to be like up over the 300 gram mark I suppose, and probably over 40 millimeters of heel stack as well. So for me that sort of puts it into an Endorphin Speed type category I suppose. I guess it could be some sort of competitor to the Boston model, but that's really great, so why release a shoe that's so similar in terms of weight and intention? I mean, is this some sort of daily shoe? It's strange I've got those plastic rods positioned on the underside of the shoe underneath the foam. Rubber and plastic on the outsole there. It's a weird setup, bit perplexing. Maybe it's some sort of Vomero 17 sort of competitor. Some are saying this shoe could be the missing link in the Adidas running shoe lineup. Finally, a reasonably spec'd sort of daily model I suppose. Does seem to fit into that caliber of a daily everyday trainer. I think where you look at shoes like the Hyperion Max from Brooks or that Speed 3 from Saucony as well, this one feels like Adidas have just joined the P-backs party a little bit late. You know, the DJ's already packing up the gear and the sun's coming up. $140 for this one, and it releases in December. I'm perhaps more excited to see how they're going to use this Dream Strike Plus stuff in some other shoes, so for the time being it's a nay on the SUPERNOVA Rise. I'm really happy to see they're using some P-backs foam there, but I don't like that repetitor stuff whatsoever. Bit of a strange quote from Adidas as well. They suggest that this shoe has been developed with female athletes in mind, though it does appear to be in both men's and women's sizing. I don't think we can expect the Solution or the Stride models of the SUPERNOVA until February of next year, so hold tight for those. Just nothing here to make me leap out of my chair in excitement about this model. Shoe 2 is from the brand Craft. It's the NORDLITE Speed, a plate-equipped shoe with a very simple upper design here and very high stack height. Looks like they maxed it out. We got 40 millimeters here. We've had that many a time, haven't we? 255 grams or 9 ounces for this model, which suggests this one's being capable of racing and training, though you'd hope for $220 that it would do all of that and make the tee. More often than not, the current super shoes are being marketed as durable trainers as well as lightweight racers to the public. I think to try and improve sales a little bit more and sort of differentiate them from those sort of ultra light, ultra expensive models. $220 though is a hell of a lot of money for a shoe that is from a brand that we don't really see all that much of. It's not that well known in the running world, perhaps more in the trail running world, I suppose. Super cookie cutter stuff here in terms of the formula. It's been done to death by this point, and it's another spit in the ocean when you can buy the Vaporfly 3 in different colourways at like £175 here in the UK right now. I think this one's going to be a bit of a hard sell. Supercritical foam in the midsole and a split forked plate is pretty much what you have in the Deviate Nitro 2 from Puma, though a slightly lower drop in that shoe, only by a few millimetres in terms of stack though. I think it's a nay for me on this one. I think the main advantage here is the chunkier outsole that we've got on the craft shoe, and I think that colourway isn't exactly ideal for those boggy pavement routes I've got right now. That colourway will last approximately 1 kilometre. Perhaps if you've got some experience in some of the craft shoes, let me know what you make of them down in the comments. But for the time being, it's a nay on the craft NORDLITE Speed. Shoe 3 is from SKECHERS. It's one brand that I get loads and loads of requests to review. They're just a little bit hard to come by here. Real scarcity of pairs of some of these SKECHERS shoes. The one that keeps cropping up though is the Go Run Ride 11. This has 38mm of heel stack, 32 in the forefoot, and around a 6mm drop. Overall, it sounds kinda like the Forever Run Nitro from Puma on first look. We have that Hyperburst midsole material here, which again appears to be similar in formula to the Puma options. It's presented in a dual layer fashion with a carbon infused plate within the midsole, perhaps edging it a little bit more towards the Deviate Nitro 2 from Puma. We all know that Goodyear rubber lasts the test of time, but I did find the Hyperburst midsole in shoes that I've tested out before from SKECHERS to be very temperamental in cold weather conditions. Really does harden up when it starts to get cold in the winter. You're in for a firmer ride. At 281 grams for the sample size, it's going to be well over 310 or so for me and my size, and I just can't really find any pairs at all in my size whatsoever for this shoe. At £135 is pretty good price actually, really, but I need more convincing than the typical carbon infused nylon plate and some new rubber to make this one a worthwhile pickup for review. So for the time being, it's a nay on the SKECHERS Go Run Ride 11. Okay, shoe 4, we're going out with a banger. It's the Endorphin Pro 4. Finally, we get to see some really nice close-up quality images of this shoe. Looks like it could be coming a little bit earlier than everybody expected as well. We got the Power Run PB in the midsole. Oh, I can almost smell the garden centre right now. And apparently a core of Power Run HG. So it's a mixture of the two premium Saucony foams. I love that Power Run HG stuff in the Endorphin Elite, and the upper is insanely comfortable in that shoe. But of course, midsole durability will be a bit of a concern with that type of foam. It's a bit of an issue, so I'm kind of saving it back as much as I can to do some racing in it soon. Saucony wisely are containing that more fragile foam in a redesigned, very angular midsole here in the Pro 4. Though of course, that will come with a different ride, and many that have tested out so far have said that it isn't quite as perhaps propulsive as the last version of the Pro, perhaps a little less aggressive feeling, though still soft and comfortable. I'm super pleased to see some additional outsole here, a more standard pattern, and clearly more coverage on the lateral side of the heel. Seems to reach further back up into the rear section of the shoe as well. I think that will help with durability in the long run. That long run being the marathon. We have suede-like elements here. I can almost hear Brett Anderson singing to me. And fishnet designs are still here on the upper of the shoe, though we now have lace loops for the eyelets, which is a breakaway from the version 3 Pro. That shoe was exceptionally breathable. I remember wearing it on one particularly cold winter morn. And it was very well fitting as well, although a touch narrow for some people. There's less exposed midsole foam this time around, and in terms of weight, I think we got about 210 grams, or 7.4 ounces for the sample size, so it's round about the same as the Endorphin Pro 3. I would expect 40mm of stack for the sample size. I think they're just maxing it out now whenever they can. I've received crate loads of requests to review this shoe already, so if I get the chance, I'll be straight in there, like a hungry squirrel, opening the box and getting them on foot to test them out. So it's definitely a yay for the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4. Hopefully it will appear very soon. Let me know your thoughts on these 4 models down in the comments. No musical interlude today, but I do have a very worthy cause to tell you about. Kevin Chuter is the stepdad of my daughter. He is running the London Marathon to raise money for Parkinson's. Sadly, Kevin lost his dad, who was battling Parkinson's back in 2022, so he's running this, I believe, sort of in his memory really, and to help raise some much needed funds for some of the nursing staff and support staff who are dealing with Parkinson's on a daily basis. I'll of course be donating some cash as well to his cause. I will put some links in the description of this video so you can go along, and if you've got a few extra Earth credits, please do help Kevin out to reach his goal and his target. Best of luck with the training, Kevin, and I hope this helps out a little bit to get you towards your target. Thanks for tuning in, people. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let me know your thoughts on these shoes down in the comments. Hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up like. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you